Welcome. This morning let's talk about another kind of stress, a kind of stress that causes us not to get along with our loved ones, maybe a husband, a wife, maybe a boyfriend, girlfriend, might even be a near or distant relative. Stress can do some strange things to our heads. One of the first things it does is creates fear. And what fear really is looking into the future with a negative expectation. And that can trigger enzymes through the hypothalamus of the brain that causes us to go into a fight or flight system. And our fight or flight system causes us to react catastrophically to what seems to be minor details. Many times our own perceptions get clouded because we're not looking at things totally correctly, even from our point of view. And understand there's a term in neurolinguistic programming we call a complex equivalency, and what that really is when we think of something, there's a whole lot of things tied into that. The way things look, where they are, our perception of when we first were recognized within that type of a thought. Maybe we see ourselves a certain way or other people in another way. And that complex equivalency usually is never the same as someone else's. So when we go into fight or flight, when we're arguing with our loved ones, what's happening? There's a mental process going on that really doesn't make sense to them. And then we attempt to communicate with them and we fail miserably. Today what I want you to do, if you're not getting along with someone, I want you to step back, take a breath, and understand as long as you keep hammering on that relationship in that state of mind, you're going to get nowhere. Also, there's a blaming process that happens where we're always blaming someone else for our misery. This happens in that fight or flight process also because there's a part of our own consciousness that wants to take care of us and never wants us to be wrong. Sometimes it's the dynamic between you and that other person that actually causes the bad chemistry. Maybe the chemistry between you and that other person is somewhat contaminated based on past issues. You know what? If we could change those past issues, we'd all get rich by giving seminars on how to change the past. All we can do is learn from the past. And if you're not learning from your past, if it's arguing with a loved one and you continue to bring up past issues of what they didn't do or what they did do in the past, based upon today, you're making a catastrophic mistake in that relationship. Today, give that person an opportunity to grow. Give yourself an opportunity to grow and say, let's start over. Let's communicate in a different way. Let's put love in our heart and look in each other's eyes as we used to with forgiveness. Let's take a look at these relationships as important, not something we can simply throw away. People simply get divorced today like they're throwing out the garbage. Let's take a look at our relationship. There was a time when you loved that person. There's a time when you cared about that person. Let's get back to that. And if you're allowing your past and their past to infiltrate your good intentions today, that can be a catastrophic problem. So I want you to take today and look at these relationships, especially the one that's giving you the most trouble, and tell yourself, you know what, I'm going to decide I'm going to allow this to work. I'm going to decide I'm going to do my best to be the best husband or best wife I can. I'm going to pay attention to that person. I'm going to love them anyway. This is Dr. Gary, wishing you the best on that one. Keep in mind, these tune-ups are going to be every day in your mailbox. Make sure you opt in. This is the last chance this week, because next week, if you're not opted in, you will not be receiving these. We're growing so fast, we're having to go to the best system we possibly can. And I'm proud of all of you for the contacts you have with me. And remember, if you have a question, if you have something you want me to put on these tune-ups, all you have to do is email me at drgarydaniel@aol.com. Until tomorrow, I'm wishing you a great communication day with your loved ones. Bye-bye.